Welcome to the Family Style Podcast, a ministry of Calvary Chapel, Palm Harbor. Real life, real faith, family style.
Lamentations 3, verses 22 through 23 says, "Through the Lord's mercies we are not consumed, because his compassions fail not. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness." God's faithfulness gives us strength to endure through every season of life. Slowing down and looking back at our lives, it's easy to see God's faithfulness. And then as we look ahead, no matter what's in our path ahead of us, no matter what struggle or trauma, we can trust him because he's never failed us. This episode of the Family Style Podcast, we're talking about real-life examples of God's faithfulness. A lot of people want to know how to make it through difficult seasons. Well, today, we're sitting down with a couple who have walked with the Lord for decades, raised a family, served in ministry, walked through difficult seasons of trauma, and experienced God's faithfulness through every season. So with that, it is a pleasure to introduce the very, very special guest,
Right. Okay.
Dennis and Pam Bricket. Are you guys ready for this? Wait. Are we ready for this?
Oh boy,
I don't know. I may have to go away.
I think anyone who's ever had a conversation with Dennis or Pam are very excited to hear them in a podcast setting for the world to hear.
There's people that have said, "Oh, the Bricketts are going to be on." Well, I'll listen. They have not listened to our podcast yet, but because you're going to be here, you're going to listen.
They're very sad people.
Are you nervous, Dennis? You look like you're nervous.
Dennis is nervous over here.
I'm in the pod.
He's
You
getting
gotta be.
he's getting fidgety. I've never seen Dennis like this before. It's kind of funny. I like it.
Irrigating. All right, let's get going.
Spotlight's on you.
And you. Oh, you're not off the hook. No.
Faithfulness. Okay, where are we at? Let's get going.
So let's start out. So I have had the pleasure, Dennis, of riding. Well, let me word this correctly. Of going to prison with you. Like we've spent a lot of time in prison together.
And leaving with him.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
But those rides to prison, I've had a lot of quality time with you. So I've heard a lot of stories, some that are good for the podcast and some that perhaps we'll put a pin in, not for the podcast.
Exactly.
But I do know a lot of your story. It involves when you and Pam met back in the, I'll just say back in the day. How about that? Correct me if I'm wrong. Pam was a waitress?
Yes.
And you were a jewelry salesman?
Yeah. I made jewelry and sold jewelry, yes.
And this is before the Lord as well, correct?
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to ask Pam some questions first, as this is going to be interrogation. I've been waiting since you guys signed up for the podcast to ask this question.
It's signed up.
Drafted. Pam, what attracted you to Dennis Brickett?
Right.
He was
My
cute.
charm.
Oh,
He was
yeah.
cute.
Yeah.
He wore boots and a cowboy hat in the middle of Palm Springs. He wore it all the time. And
Why are they laughing about that?
Nothing.
so that's it. I just thought he was really cute. So 42 years later,
Wow, praise
actually
the Lord.
more. We've been married 42 years this August. So there was a year or so in there before that. And here we are, and it was fun to look back and see what God has done.
Amen.
Actually amazing.
Now, when you guys got married, were you believers when you got married?
By the time we got married, yes, we were. When we met, we were not. But it's almost like we immediately started wanting to take his 2 and 4-year-old daughters to church, and something was just drawing us. And so from that point on, God just led us to Calvary Chapel out in California, and we've never looked back. And it's just been this journey. That's what I was sharing with Dennis today. It's just been a journey, both of us just hand in hand, and going just from becoming a believer, learning how to be a good believer, learning how
I think
to
that's the thing,
serve, learning what we needed to do to stay, in the Word, and
Well,
learning more about the Lord.
What got you guys to go to church in the first place? Did you guys grow up in Christian homes, or was it?
Well, I grew up we went younger, we went to a Presbyterian church. So I grew up knowing, in a sense, the church involvement, learning about Jesus, I remember sitting there during the Presbyterian church. No, not a long story. She said, no long stories. How long just go for?
We can edit it out, man.
I would look at the hymnal as the pastor would be talking up there. And so I kind of grew up in that, knowing God. I always prayed when I was a kid, and always had the sense of God in that sense, and Jesus and everything. And even through my life until I got older and everything, I always knew about the Lord and stuff, but I never really committed to that and walked in that and really got to know who he was through the Word and everything. Mainly it was calling out to him when there was problems and stuff in my life, and calling out for help.
You mentioned hymnal when you were talking about that, so just for some of the young adults there, can you describe what a hymnal is?
A hymnal is a book of hymns and songs and such that you would sing in church.
Have you ever seen a hymnal, Colby?
I have not ever seen a hymnal.
Really?
I don't think so, no.
Oh, wow.
Dennis has this look of shock on his face.
I've been at Calvary Chapel my whole life. We
yeah.
got lyrics up on
That's
the
interesting.
projector or the
Rotary phone, remember those?
No.
All right, let's stop before we get on that path.
Oh gosh.
No, hymnals. I would look at a hymnal and everything, and look at the words and everything of songs and everything, because that's
There you
what I
go.
did.
Now, how did music come into all that stuff? Because I do know, let me ask Pam, how many guitars does Dennis own?
4.
And which one is your favorite?
I don't have a favorite. They're all great.
No,
My
wow.
favorite's the one he sold, but that's another story. We're not
Oh,
going there either. No.
So just for our listeners so they know that you are in full support of these guitars, correct?
Absolutely.
I know.
Thank you, Ben.
Yeah, Dennis has been very
Every
excited.
one of them.
Pam told me to go
Could
get another
everybody
guitar.
hear that?
I love listening. He plays a lot, and I love it.
Yeah.
It keeps our house just calm and in touch with the Lord, the presence.
When I
of
was young,
the Lord.
my mom got me involved. I would listen to classical music on our radio or record. She would put a record on of classical music, and I would sit there before stereo, and I would listen, get my ear up again there and listen to the music and everything.
We know what records are. We heard it Sunday.
Yeah.
Pastor Brett described it to us.
And so I would listen to that. So my mom got me involved with what they call a Hawaiian steel guitar, which is the guitar that you put on your lap with a slide.
We should have brought that little picture.
And I
of him
learned to
doing
play that and everything, and I got involved with music. I was involved with music in a sense, playing something. Played the trumpet for a while. And then later on, when I was a teenager and stuff, got away from that and got back to it again, and got out of the service, bought my first really good guitar, which is the one she said I shouldn't have sold. So
When you got out of
That
church
was
service?
a faithless moment.
and when I got out of the Navy.
Oh, I got you. I
we
got you. I
didn't have
understand.
faith in
Yes.
God
Yes.
to provide.
So faithfulness. Let's talk about
So
faithfulness.
Pam just brought it up. So so 42 years of marriage.
Yes.
Parents, grandparents.
Yes.
Ministries in there. You mentioned military, all that stuff. So when you think back, so now as you are seasoned in your walk with the Lord, experienced and seasoned, and you look back, are there specific moments where you look back where you can say, I definitely remember the Lord was faithful in these moments. This was a...
Oh, definitely.
Yes.
There were several.
We do have those written down.
They're up here.
God seriously just took us together and brought us up in the Lord as adults and in the Calvary Chapel, which was a blessing. So we started serving from the beginning. We were in a small church. We were all considered leaders because there was about 10 of us. And we had to do everything. So he really brought us up that way. We've both been in ministry, so to speak, the entire time. But we've been in separate ministries the entire time. So then when we come to that part about, a thing for the newlyweds, maybe it's best to be in a separate ministry. But I'm kidding. It's always good to serve together,
Yeah.
too, if that's where God has called you.
Yeah.
Any comments on that, Dennis?
No, she's talking about when we got involved with Calvary Chapel out in Dallas at the beginning of the church out there when it started. And we were always involved. She was involved with the children's ministry and with the women's ministry, and I was always involved with the music ministry, whether making duplicate cassette tapes or doing the overheads or playing part of the music team and stuff like that, eventually being the worship leader for a while up there like that. So that was the church part of that. But before that, God was always involved with my life and her life, I know that. I lost my train of thought. When we were together, the Calvary Chapel, and the things that were going through our life and everything, I could look back and see all the times where he was involved and he was faithful with us, getting us to Dallas in the first place when we were together in Palm Springs is where I met her.
What brought you to Dallas? Was it a Calvary Chapel? Were you guys part of it?
Well, I'll tell you that.
We didn't know
he
what
asked
was
that.
bringing us until we got there, but we knew that's where the Lord.
That's a big
had led
difference,
us.
right? California and Texas, not just location, but that's
I was
different kind
I
of
was
people.
involved with some things I was involved with drugs out there quite a bit when I got out of the service. And,
Before I knew him.
Right, and because of a situation with a marriage and everything that I got, the divorce happened to me with my 2 little girls that from a previous marriage. And so I got involved with drugs a lot and everything, and trying to get away from all that. That's why I moved to Palm Springs. I met Pam there, but there was a point where the jewelry store that I was working at had a new owner, and he said, "We don't need you anymore." The house I was living in up in the high desert area belonged to my sister and brother-in-law, who owned the jewelry store. They moved to Bend, Oregon. We lived there, and eventually that house sold, and I lost my job. And at that point, I had no job, and I had no home to live in. And I didn't know what to do, and I was just cried out to the Lord, and we went down to the Calvary Chapel down there in Cathedral City. I went there, and that's the first time she went to a
I'd
Calvary
never been
Chapel.
to a Calvary. Yeah, wow.
And she went in there, and they're
This is like what, 70s, 80s?
This
I don't
is
mean to offend you, but-
82, 81, 82.
So this is still like the Jesus movement? Is it-
1981,
Yeah,
82.
I knew a little bit about it from the previous marriage. Her parents were very strong Christians at the beginning of the Calvary Chapel movement, and when I had this divorce happen, and they kind of took me under their wing, and took me out to a place out where we were at the worship conference out there, to a orange packing house and everything, which was the Don McClure's church at the time.
Oh, wow.
To see this new speaker, and it was Chuck Smith,
Oh, wow.
and he was teaching on Revelation.
Wow.
And
That's legit.
and that and her parents made a big impact when I heard
This is your ex-wife's
parents.
They're
Yes.
wonderful.
The one that so you mentioned drugs. So this is the woman that was.
The woman that was.
You said you were
the mother of my 2
Yeah.
little
Girl's
children.
mother.
tying all the stories
I will
together.
tell you something real quick here, because she said don't get too long on something. But I want to share this because you're talking about something impact how the Lord worked in their lives and everything.
I'm not telling you to stop.
On the previous marriage I had, of course, they were Christians, and that's when the Calvary Chapels were first starting out there, and they were involved with that, going to church a lot. You know, they were Christians, and but the dad didn't like me at all. Of course, I'm with his daughter. We were not married. She was very young, and he told me one day, he says, "I hate you. I never want to see you again. I want you to stay away from my daughter."
Wow.
And my thought was, this guy's supposed to be a Christian, and he's talking to me like that. It didn't make any difference. I still saw her. And then one day, I went over there, and I said, "Oh, here he comes out of the garage." He was always working on a Volkswagen Bug that he had. And he came out, and he put his arms around me, and he said, "I love you." And he said, "Would you forgive me? I love you." And the Lord just turned his heart around for loving others, and he loved me. And I said, I had never heard anybody, even my family, even though I knew that they loved me, say that I love you.
Wow.
And that made a big difference. But I was still involved. They made a big difference in my life, but I was still involved in the things and the hurts and stuff like that. And so with Pam and everything, when the house was gone and the job was gone and everything, we went to church, and that's when she got
Exposed to Calvary Chapel.
Chapel and said, "Wow, they're playing these music and the guy's reading out of the Bible." And again, wow, that's never been involved with anything like that. And I said, I need to pray with the pastor, and I prayed with him to say, "What do we do? I don't know what to do. I've lost my job. I just don't know what I'm going to do. Don't know." And I prayed with him, and I felt that, I think the next day or the couple of days later, I knew I needed to come to Dallas. I had a friend that lived in Dallas that I grew up with. younger guy, and I said, we need to go to Dallas. I really feel like you need to go to Dallas. And so got the truck, got the U-Haul, packed up a few things. I'm driving, I'm towing her car, or she's driving her car, I'm towing my other car, and I'm singing the whole time, driving to Dallas. Worship songs or something, songs that I had. And she's singing, I said, I know we're supposed to be here, and that's when we got involved at the beginning of the Calvary Chapel out there. Now, God did a lot of work in our lives from there, serving, different things that happened to us, injuring my back.
You're getting ahead.
Huh?
You're getting ahead.
Hey, let me pause, because you guys have
It's
mentioned
okay.
this a couple of times, and so I want to, just for those people that are
Sorry
listening.
about all that.
No,
I think
that was a
there's
great
part-
story.
I think there's part of discipleship that can be overlooked, and we do know the Holy Spirit is discipling all of us, but there's something about serving that lends itself to discipleship. There's something about getting connected in the church, and when you serve, like as you guys are telling your stories, I remember Carrie and I, children's ministry, men's ministry, the little events, the things that when we were first rededicating our lives to the Lord, that's what we did a lot of serving, and that's how we met a lot of good family, good friends that we still to this day are connected with, and it was through those serving. Children's ministry, men's ministry, home fellowships, Bible studies, and all that stuff.
Yes.
I think that gets overlooked nowadays, the importance of getting plugged in. I tease from the pulpit during announcements, but there's a lot of folks who just come in the big pile, and they don't learn the importance of growing in that
I
family
think
style.
one of the importance of that is when you get involved in the church activities, serving somewhere, you begin to grow in this family. So when these trials and problems and things come into your life, there's a family there that you can draw on. If you have a family there that can counsel you, you have a family there that can pray with you. You're not alone. You're part of the body of Christ, and they can come alongside of you and pray with you and everything.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you, all three of you guys actually, because it's a little different, because I've really been in church my entire life, and I never really left. So like the experience of going to a new church is something I've never had, because I felt like I was born in this church building. But how did you guys, and all three of you, because you mentioned having serve, you guys were so immediate, like this is, you guys had gone to this Calvary Chapel a few times, and now you're going to a new Calvary Chapel in Dallas. How did you guys kind of break down the walls and get so immediately plugged into that church without hiccup? Because I think there's a lot of people who come to a new church, they're scared, they kind of just go and they want to just hightail out of there. What made you guys kind of get plugged in, and what I don't know, what was your guys' thoughts when you went to that new church?
Let me take that. We went to the Calvary in Dallas, and there was only 10 of us.
Yeah.
There was several couples. They took us right under their wing. There was things to do. The nursery needed to be
Church
done. We
was
were
new at the
setting
time.
up, it was a newer church. And so they watched us, and then they corrected us after we'd been there a while and gone forward, we were going to the new believers meeting. They said, you really need to get married.
Oh, you
But
guys
they
weren't married
said
yet.
we were not married yet. And so they showed us in the Bible. They didn't just say it. And we're like, wow. And we had already planned a wedding, which is another whole story. So we got married. And it was great. And then these people, we still know these people. They've been out here to see us. I know Ben's probably met every couple that's been out here that we served with. So then when we came here, we thought, after 40-something years there, we're just going to sit back and see what goes on here for a year, because if they're anything like our church, now in Dallas, they're not going to want us to do anything anyway, for 6 months or so, not serve. We need to prove ourselves as well. But we wanted to just be pew sitters, which we hadn't done in 40 years. So for the first year, we just hung out, and it was great. Got to know people, got to see how things went and that kind of thing, which was a lot of fun. We felt so comfortable here from the minute we got here.
Got to meet people.
And meeting people and not really saying, oh, well, let's see what ministry we might want to be involved in. We didn't do that. We let it really happen organically. But as far as being a new believer and walking into a church for the first time, we were only about 3 weeks maybe or less in the Calvary Chapel in California.
Yeah.
Before we actually moved.
Oh, that was quick.
Yeah, that's a lot of people would walk into a church with 10 people and get frightened and not come back the next week. Like that's a serious thing. So that's a bold thing for you guys, but obviously it paid off for your guys' faith.
Oh, Debbie had me in the nursery the first week. She said, "Oh, you're here, good. Well, here you're going to be with me in the nursery."
That's awesome. Hey,
and she's still my best friend.
It was a storefront, and you walked in, and Debbie, that's still there. They came out to visit us, Joe.
You met
Joe
Debbie
and
and Joe, yeah.
And she's in there with the kids, and we had Travis with us, and Travis was with us.
He was born by then. Yeah.
Right, and you dropped him off because you go around and everybody's in there. The worship is going on, and you drop her off, and she kind of has the baby and sits it down, and she goes, "Oh, well, welcome. I'm so and so, or so and so." Oh, good. You'll be in the children's ministry next week because you have a child, so you'll be serving.
That's how it was. And then Don and Jean McClure came out, took all 10 of us out. No, I was pregnant at that time with Travis. Took us all out to this cabin, did what they called the leaders retreat, and it was everybody in the church. So to get ministered to by Don and Jean McClure, they just poured into us for an entire weekend.
That's awesome.
So we really had some amazing upbringing in the church as adults.
And you know, the way the Calvary Chapels teach, the verse by verse and everything, when you go from one, when you come to another one, you get pretty much the same.
Yeah.
If they're following that, you get the same thing, so it's an easy transition and everything.
You know what to expect.
But if you've served in one, it's pretty much easy to start serving another one. If you're new and you're trying to get in there, you do need to start serving. You need to start doing. It's beneficial. You say you love the Lord, you love His Word, then you need to serve. You need to fellowship and serve and be a part of that and everything.
Pam, this unless I'm mistaken, you the only church you've really ever known is Calvary Chapel.
No, I grew up in the Methodist Church, and I loved going. My parents, lived in a small town here in Florida, and my father served, in the church, did the ushering and that kind of thing. So they weren't interested in going to church every Sunday. So they would take me because I wanted to go to Sunday school every Sunday from the time I was probably 4. And the Methodists give you a big perfect attendance pin when you've been a year without missing, and then the next year they give you a little bar and another. I had a perfect attendance.
Impressive.
Even when we go on vacation to the mountains and to Daytona, they would find the Methodist church because I wanted to go on Sunday, and they would drop me at the Methodist church. So there was something I was searching for. But then youth groups, about the time they lost me, and I wandered off and did my thing until I met Dennis, and we walked into that Calvary in Cathedral City, and I heard the music, and I was like, I'm home.
You talked about, have you seen the Lord's faithfulness in your life over your, because we're, how long we've been married? 42
years.
I love the fact that she had to write it down.
42 years.
No, I have the same thing, and we're not nearly as long as you are, but I forget. Like, once you get over, 5 or 6 years, is it what year is 42?
It'll be 42.
42 is impressive.
You know about His faithfulness. You know about His grace and mercy and His love for you. But His faithfulness, when we look back at the things that happened in our lives.
Yeah.
The times when I didn't have a job because of my back problems that I had, I didn't work. We were selling our house.
I got a
over
list.
There. Oh, you got to list it down. Is that wow? That's a lot.
It is a lot. That's what happened when I went back over it just from start to finish to see. Well, His faithfulness started right in the beginning when God put us in the church and brought us up and taught us how to be.
So there's something
I wasn't making money, and we had to rely on Him.
There's something about, I don't know about you guys, but for me, even in preparing for this podcast, Brett mentioned it on Sunday as well. When you stop and you slow down and you begin to look back and you begin to see His hand, it's like, oh man,
He's always.
Yeah.
We've never lacked. We have never been.
Right.
We've never been where we've had money and lots of stuff. Sometimes He's blessed us where we've been blessed sometimes with, here, you need this, with some finances. But, the 23rd Psalm, The Lord is my shepherd; I shall not lack. Is the term that they was what should be there. We've never lacked anything. He's always supplied, whether I worked or I didn't work, or whether we had injuries, or whether there was where Pam had her breast cancer and everything. He was always there. We didn't lack anything.
Well, we had to learn reliance on him. Dennis's job was straight commission. And he was very good at it, very good and very honest.
Thank you.
He was good at it. He won
just a little side note. When we do premarital counseling, I tell the wives or the brides to be, I say, you don't understand the power you have in your words and encouraging your husband. Right. When you give your husband an attaboy and it's genuine and sincere, like he's ready to go conquer the world. Now the opposite is also true as well.
You're right.
I'm ready to go home and cook for her.
Yes, he's ready to go and cook. He's a great cook. He cooks me dinner every night. Every night.
He's going to want to go on the podcast every single day now. You know.
So he was on straight commission, and I was staying home. I got to stay home with Travis till he was in 4th grade, so we had to rely on commission.
He didn't get any money. So.
And then the next job, when he said he was going to quit that one, which is another one of those long stories about how that came about, he says he's missing out on his son growing up, and he went into business for himself, doing repair work, handyman stuff. That was all word of mouth. So you had to have somebody wanting work. We trusted the Lord with our finances by that point, no matter what, because the back injury happened, and then the Lord gave me a job in the school district so I could be with my kid in 4th grade. It's been amazing. And then cancer, and 25 years cancer-free.
You know, I
what
think
else?
When the Lord brings those things into your life, the cancer or not having work and stuff like that, and you see where He's provided for you, and you see how He's walked alongside of you and been with you the whole time, I think He does those things that come to our life. He lets you use them to help other people when they're going through those kind of things. You've experienced that. You've seen His hand of faithfulness and stuff in you, that you can say, "Hey, I've been there. I didn't have a job. I didn't have this, or my back, and I couldn't do this." Or my wife with her cancer, she can come alongside and say, she can help support and help encourage and stuff like that. So there's things that that trouble us, and we think, oh my gosh, I have this, I did my job, what am I going to do? I can't work, I don't have any money coming in. The Lord brings those things into your life. He chisels away at the outside of your thing and shapes you and forms you into the person He wants you to be, so He can use you to minister to others, to come alongside of others. And I think that's part of His faithfulness and everything in your life and everything in our lives.
Yeah,
absolutely.
He also allowed us to buy a home in Dallas. We never lost our home. We never didn't have a meal on the table.
We came out here and we were looking for a place to stay and everything, and the whole thing came together.
I know the Lord led you
within
here,
a
but
week.
practically, why Palm Harbor from Dallas? Like, what was it? What drew you to this area?
I was born and raised in in Polk County, and I said when I retired, I want to go back to Florida, and I don't want to live inland. Sorry for those of you that live inland ever again. And I said I want to be near the beach. I'm a beach person. And we went to both coasts, and so Dennis could kind of get a feel for both coasts. And then I let him pick, because wherever it wasn't going to be a deal breaker. I was coming to Florida.
It wasn't inland, so
you had a choice between the east and west coast.
Wherever you want to go, but it has to be here.
Well, it has to be this coast or this coast. And he picked the Gulf Coast, and the Lord just really led us all the way through selling our home and finding a place this close to the church. And
our house was up for sale. We were selling, and we didn't have a place to live out here. We didn't have a place to go to. And I just felt the Lord just kept saying, just wait, I'll take care of everything. Wait.
I love it when He says that.
And
it's
wait.
my favorite.
Huh? He did. He just kept saying it. She's saying, we don't have a place. I said, I think the Lord's just telling us to just to wait. He's going to work all that stuff out. Everything's going to be okay. We're going to find a place. And the last week, together we found that's we're going to have a place to stay when we get out here, which was the
condo in Dunedin.
The condo in Dunedin, over close to where Ed is out there.
Actually, it happened when we were sitting at breakfast celebrating the fact that we had this giant check from selling our home. The closing had just happened, and we're like, we're rich, but we have nowhere to go. And that lasted about 10 minutes, and we got a call from our...
Right, that check happened
10
to
minutes.
where...
We had
Yeah.
breakfast.
See,
We were
it was
wealthy at breakfast.
It was
Yes,
the
we
check. It was waiting. All of a sudden, the house sold. We don't need a place. There's the place.
That's
There's
crazy.
the
Yeah.
house.
It was amazing.
Next thing you know, guys from the church were packing everything. There's the place, and we're gone. It's all in the last...
About a week.
It seems like the Lord always, if you just wait, all of a sudden it's there in His
Yeah.
time.
And he's showing his faithfulness.
Oh.
And he's teaching
And
you to
driving
trust him.
out here, it
Absolutely.
was singing worship songs from the truck. I'm driving the
Yes.
truck.
Yeah.
So-
She's behind me,
Yeah.
and there's rainbows as we're on the
Yeah.
road. I'm going, Pam, did you see the
Yeah.
rainbow?
I'm trying to think, Dennis. How long have you guys been part of Calvary Chapel Palm Harbor? Like how long? Have you-
4 years.
4 years.
Yes.
So I've only known you for 4 years. I've spent a good bit of time with you in prison and on the ride there. And so a couple things I can say pretty confidently about Dennis Brickett.
Okay,
Number
be
one
Be careful.
is that he will bust out in song at any time. If he hears any quote or any
Me
verse,
too.
he'll just start singing. And it's
Sing.
usually something from the 80s or 90s, some one of the old
It's
school.
out of the
Yeah.
Psalms.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
We
It's
sit
Psalms.
there, in church, and Pastor Brett will bring up a scripture and a turn there, and one of us will go, "It's a song."
Oh, you see, I wish Joel was here for this
everywhere.
episode. Joel's our music reference guy.
Oh, yeah?
Which
Yeah, he does
I
that.
can do pretty good, but
You
yeah.
go, wow, I didn't know Pastor Brett knew that song.
It's a song. Yeah.
So number one is that you will pelt out in song. Like if you hear something and you're like, oh, there's a song. Hey, Pastor Benji, there's a song, and you'll just start singing it. Number two is that you like to talk with your hands, which is always great for the stories. Whether
My
you're,
hands, I'm down here.
I was watching. You're
Doesn't
doing
matter.
very good because you only smacked the mic
Yeah.
twice. So playing guitar
Or the
on the
table.
keyboard,
I do
taking
the same
pictures,
thing.
all that stuff. There's also, if I'm with you in public, if you're in public and you see somebody who has a hat on that is a veteran, you will make it a point to go over and say thank you for your service.
Yeah, I like that because I know that they've seen a lot in their life, and there's a lot inside there that they need somebody to come along and say thank you to them.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Which recently you got to do your honor flight, correct?
That's correct. Yeah,
And
that was good. Very good. But I know whenever we go someplace, the Lord always brings somebody in front of us to go see or to talk to. Something happens.
so Kobe,
Is that right?
is this number 4 Dennis Brickett facts that I know? Number 4 is Dennis Brickett is never ever in a hurry. He's always going to take his time. And so
That's true.
Multiple stories I could tell you, but one in particular, we were in prison again, and you have to be out at a certain time for count or whatever. And so it's like at 3:00 you got to be moving towards the gate, or you can get stuck there. Blah blah blah. And so somebody is dragging his feet, like taking his time. He's not in a hurry, and I wasn't frustrated. I was trying to get him to move. I didn't want to stay the night there. I didn't want to.
No, it's not going to happen. Go ahead.
So anyhow, he's dragging his feet,
I
and
know
I'm
what he's
starting
gonna
to like, Dennis, we got to da 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 da. And I'm kind of late, and then we're coming around the corner. Do you remember this, Dennis? And Ron John, this is back when he was still incarcerated,
Yeah.
just walks out of a dorm like right in front of us, and he's got a guy with him, and the guy's upset, and he goes, "Oh, Pastor Ben, this guy just found out his dad passed away. Is there any chance you could pray for him?"
Wow.
And so, of course, we prayed, and then as we're leaving, Mr. Dennis Brickett goes, "Wow, Pastor Ben, looks like the Lord wanted us to meet that guy."
Remember, wait on the Lord. Wait.
Hey.
Oh, I remember, Dennis.
Yeah.
Not once, Colby. Multiple times that has happened to me at a restaurant, and then it just, "Come on, Dennis, let's go. You're always the last one." And then there's a family there. You remember that family in the parking lot? We prayed with them.
The
They're-
restaurant. We were going in there. They were there, and they came out and said, "Those people are still here. We need to go talk to them."
And the family, they just left the hospital. Their daughter, addicted to
Yeah.
drugs.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's amazing they had a need. Something happened. Something in their life needed somebody to come alongside and pray. And
Everybody needs a Dennis Brickett in their life.
Oh.
So this, I think, watch this
I don't
transition.
know.
Yes, it's true. Watch this transition, Ben. This will be good. So you're speaking on a lot of holy patience, if you will. And how were you able to bring that holy patience into parenting all your children? See, that was a good
That's
transition.
a good
That was
transition.
nice.
Yeah, I know.
He's a pro. He's
I
got
know.
a
I don't
diploma
like
in this.
questions like how's that?
That's
There
for
was-
both of you guys.
Surely out of
You
faithfulness and
would
parenting.
have to know Travis. Ben knows the adult version of Travis, who's wonderful.
I know his dad.
We had to,
He's worse.
we had to literally
Oh, he's
team
good.
tag to raise that boy, and with all of the people in our church as well.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, he was something else, a handful.
He has a great sense of humor.
But he turned
He
out
was tough
amazing.
in high school, very hard in high school.
But he now has a little boy who turned 10 today.
oh,
And we want to say happy birthday, Nico.
Happy birthday, Nico.
Happy birthday,
Nico.
Nico.
Yeah. But I guess, all right, what are some, do you guys have any specific
What was the
examples?
question again? I
I'm
forgot.
going to get you right now. Ready? I got you.
I wasn't listening.
What are some specific examples in parenting specifically where you see the Lord's faithfulness in the same way that you guys have seen in kind of your testimony?
Well, I want to say one thing. I had the privilege, our pastor's wife had already raised 3 children.
Mm-hmm.
They were young teenagers. They turned out to be our son's babysitters. But
Nice.
she ministered to all the rest of us were young mommies
Mhm.
with like toddlers
Yeah.
and things. So we had the benefit of our sweet Denise teaching us parenting and walking us through it, and just it was I think we did a class probably every week or so. All of us were just, we had that benefit. It's such a great thing. And I don't know, he just turned out great in spite of us. It was God's grace, God's faithfulness.
We look back, and we don't have as many years as you guys do, but Carrie and I look back, and one of our common prayers when we were raising kids, and we rejoice in it now, is that we would just ask the Lord to fill in the voids of
Yes,
our parenting
and
with His
I
grace.
think that's
forget
true,
the bad
yeah.
things that.
And it still
Our son was
shocks me.
probably born in the church,
yeah.
same way as
Yeah.
you were. He was born in the Calvary Chapel.
Because our marriage was tough at sometimes too. There, we just kept going. There was. For me, it was the idea of the family and stuff. We just had to stay together and everything, and keep. The Lord will just work. Well, we'll work all these things out. We just have to keep seeking Him, and just keep going and everything. And the problems or the difficulties that we had in our relationship, we need to put that behind us and move forward and reconcile and keep going and keep moving forward and everything.
Just that seek first the kingdom of God, His
Yeah,
righteousness, and all these
exactly.
things will be added. All
Yeah.
And
these
they've
things.
all
Because
been
if you're
added.
married, things are like if you're married, things are going to come up. It's not. It will come up. As you know, just I'm sorry. Were you getting married? No, it does. I mean, with 2 people living together that are different, but we all both love the Lord, and we're getting closer to Him. And as you do that, as you keep seeking the Lord and seeking Him in your marriage, and you keep going, then you become. I think our marriage is really good. I'm just it's incredible to me right now that we're very close, and I love you very much.
I love you too.
Oh.
And
We're not fighting.
That's another story.
That is another story.
That's a non-podcast story.
we never really fight. What did we
We
call it?
bicker.
We never really fight.
Bickering Brickett.
Was
We
that the
don't
first
fight.
beach service? Was that the first beach service? No. You guys were following me, or I was behind
You
you?
thought we were fighting.
I just saw your 2 heads and was like, then you called for something directions or
We
something like,
never
are you
really
guys
fight.
fighting? We're
We
not
don't
fighting.
fight, no.
Bam, are we fighting? No, we're not fighting.
We never really fought about the big things.
Hmm.
There was some disagreements in the parenting because he's a man, but he's also military, and it was my only child, and so he was right, I think, most of the time, and he could see when Travis was not doing right, and Mom maybe tends to overlook it. So
Mom's
he was
more
right, but it
nurturing.
was hard, some of it, especially in the teen years.
That's it's
with
common, right?
with
Marriage,
a father and the son.
That's a common source of conflict in marriage is parenting.
Yeah.
Finances, parenting.
Right.
Finances were nothing for us. That was easy, but the parenting, especially in those teen years, got a little rough.
The finances weren't part of that, but the finances were up and down. But God always provided our needs, our finances, in that. Always provided food. Always provided our home. Always provided transportation, the things that we needed to live in our home and everything, and food. The conflict came from raising a son.
So
So, son, if you listen to this, you know how much I love you.
He was a real booger sometimes.
I didn't know what he was
You
going to
can't say booger.
Booger's fine. Booger's good. We'll take
I didn't know where he was going, so that we'll take that one. That's good. Let's move.
We're so proud of him.
Hey, so take the 42 years of marriage, take the I guess 43 years of walking with the Lord, take all those things, and now if you're sitting down and you're speaking to a young man who's getting ready to get married, or speaking to somebody who's listening who's new in the Lord, and you looking back at all these years of God's faithfulness, what are some words of wisdom or some advice you could give to, let's say, a new believer or to a young parent? You know, I think about my kids just now entering into parenting, and you know, those first couple of weeks where you just feel like you're never going to sleep, and you're up, and take some of that wisdom, Dennis, Pam, and what advice, the Lord's faithfulness, and looking back on all those years.
Well, let me see if I have any notes. That's a good question, Ben. Maybe I'll have an answer. I don't know, Lord, give me an answer, please.
Let me say this before you answer, and I mean this sincerely. There's something about people that have been married for 42 years, have been walking with the Lord for 43 years, and that have learned His faithfulness, that have a great sense of humor.
We laugh a lot. He's
think
so
you have
funny.
to.
He was always so funny.
You have to.
You definitely have
to have some sense of humor with things that come into your life, because if you realize God's faithfulness, let me say this, faithfulness. Okay.
Here we go into the notes. I thought you said you didn't have any notes. Is that 3 pages of notes?
No.
He told me he didn't have any.
This is half a page of
I
notes.
got it right here. Is to uphold, right? Is to be stable, to be firm. Steadfastness is another word. There's another word for all that stuff. When you realize, when you get to be like us, have the past, or in the future, I should say, whatever I'm saying, I have no idea what I'm saying. For me, myself, I always look at the trees and in the morning when I go to feed those silly little squirrels out there and everything.
By the way, Colby, I'm going to link a picture in the podcast link.
Oh, that's good.
And I just realized, when you look at, He's created the universe. He's created the stars. He's created this planet. He's created the cells in my body. And He holds all that together beyond it. And we go to the beach. Well, sometimes I'll sit there at the beach and I'll look at all these people out there. And they're out on the beach. And I'll think, Lord, you know every single one of them. That just is overwhelming to me. How do you even know each one of these people, even before they even were born, and you know all about them and what
their memories
and everything.
Yeah.
And when you see that and you begin to understand that, and also the fact that He keeps saying that I love you and I've died on the cross for you, and I want you to be with me, and the faithfulness of being merciful to you and being gracious to you, all that is faithfulness. Mercy is faithfulness. Graciousness, His grace is faithfulness, because you get grace. It doesn't stop. His mercy doesn't stop. It's constant. It's there and everything. I look at the waves. I sit there and I look at the waves and I go, well, that's His graciousness and His faithfulness. All that. It just never. The waves just keep going and going. It flows and flows and flows and flows and flows. It's a solid foundation. It doesn't change. And you begin to hold on to that. And no matter what the difficulties are in your life, you look at the good times that you have, but the times that you need direction, or the times when you may not have, or the times when a sickness may come, or the car breaks down, or you have an accident, or whatever that may be. You need a new roof. What am I going to do? I don't have the money for that. Know that He's faithful, and He's going to see you through all that stuff, because the stars are sitting up there. Because in the morning the sun comes up, and in the evening the sun sets over there. You're standing on a firm foundation, and that foundation is a proof of His faithfulness to you.
Amen.
Well, I would say too, always for those getting married and the young, remember that each of you is a separate person. You have your personality. Yeah. You are who you are. I am who I am. And we need to respect that about each other. And we need to not have expectations of each other that they're not even supposed to have to meet, much less, you spend some time getting disappointed because your husband didn't do this or that. Well, that's not right. He's who he is, and we need to respect that. I mean, I'm trying to go both ways. It goes both ways. It's not right I think, to be disappointed in each other.
We're separate people, but our heart is directed in the same place.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Men are very simple. We're very simple. We're like a rock. We're just simple-minded. Women are more
intricate.
I don't know what that is, Dennis.
So
Was
we're
that
simple.
sign language? What was that?
We just have
What's
That's
that?
what we are.
Help me. I don't know what to say now.
respect that and just,
Thank you.
and enjoy each other. It's
Yeah.
not going to last forever.
And find humor and stuff. We still do laugh a lot on stuff. We see things and we do laugh about it. She's just laughing now.
Yeah, we do.
I didn't say anything
And then
funny.
for
She's laughing.
raising kids, I just
that's funny.
I was like, you find a lot of humor in that. I
keep
bet.
going. But
Oh, yeah,
let
there's a
your,
lot of
let
that.
your kids teach you and the things that go on with you. See the lesson that God wants you to learn, when you're going through whatever with your kids.
Don't argue over these silly, stupid things that get out of control and everything, that you may get on your nerves and everything, of why the fork is not where the knives are, and the knives are on the fork, and you start having a debate about all this and talk about
That's
this and argue about all this stuff, and you go, we're arguing over a fork. That's not right. You know what? I'll tell you something. I always
Oh
thought.
boy, here comes the
I
podcast
will
gold
tell you
right here.
something. I always thought, that you bring it up. I always thought.
No,
I
he
was
brought it
gonna-
up.
No, listen.
Colby brought it up.
Hey, that's just to help you. I'm going to get you one of these.
Gosh.
I always thought what marriage counseling should be, when you're going through the marriage counseling, when you're all done, they give you a kit. And in that kit is the little red clown nose that you put on, and the eyeglasses where the eyes go like this, and the little springy things and funny ears like that. And the next time when you get married, when you start to argue about something,
Put
you
one of those
put
on.
all those on,
Okay.
and then look at each other while you're arguing, and your eyes are doing this, and the mouth is doing this, and all that stuff, and you'll go, okay, never mind, it's not worth it.
Pam, you are such a lucky lady.
I am. He's a high reacher. He's a good cook. He's funny.
So I can be expecting a gift coming soon. With a
Yes,
clown nose.
That's correct.
Okay.
And glasses where those eyes are. the springs
I will
do
cherish.
this.
I'll cherish that
Yeah,
gift,
that's my
Dennis
marriage
Brickett.
kit.
It may
Yeah.
come in handy.
Yeah, there we go.
Whenever you feel like you're going to argue, put this on, and that'll stop right away.
He's told me this before. I think it's pretty good advice. We
Yeah,
don't
it
have
is.
it, but I think it's pretty good advice. Hey, tell me funniest vacation memory.
Well, you know what we were going to say. 4 words. They all involve poop, and that's all we're going to
no.
say.
Well, I like to.
We're done. Next.
We're done.
They all involve poop.
All right.
That was quite a mic drop. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, there's got to be something else.
Not that I remember.
She only remembers the poop stuff.
thing over here that happened to us and everything.
You can
That's
keep
pretty
thinking,
much
but that's what it was all
And we're not
about.
going to talk about that.
We just did.
You know, I'm dying to say something, but I guess
Oh,
I'm not.
what? Say it then. Go ahead if you can't stand it. He can always edit it out if I make him.
On the vacation? Which one?
I
should
don't
do?
know. What are you
Which
dying to
one?
say?
Okay,
yeah.
I'll tell you what. Here's what we had. We were going to go where we were traveling, and I had my new tent,
This is
North
one of-
Face tent.
One of my favorites.
Well,
It involves poop.
no, don't keep saying poop. And we were traveling. I think we're going wherever we were going to visit your parents. or
No, we
something.
were going out to California to have the wedding in your sister's backyard.
Okay.
And we didn't have a lot of money.
And it was pouring down rain.
So
It
we
was
were
late at
driving, and
night,
we're
and
gonna
we're
sleep in
right,
a
and
tent.
it's like very late at night, and I'm tired, and it's pouring down rain, and there was a rest stop, and I go, we got to get over here and stop and rest and everything, and get the tent set up as quick as I can, so we're out of the rain, so we can get inside the tent.
North Face is quality stuff.
It
I bought it
was.
when they first started. They were U.S. made. They were made out of Berkeley. Was the company was out of Berkeley, so they did really good stuff. Now I don't know, but they were really good. Anyway, it's pouring down rain. Get out of the car, set the tent up, get in there. We're all secured and everything. It's raining. We finally get to sleep and everything. We're exhausted. Wake up in the morning, and there's dogs around us and people out there. And I ended up setting up the tent in the dog run.
At the rest stop.
at the rest stop.
Where the dogs go to the bathroom.
Where the
Yes.
dogs use the grass, or the dogs use the grass. I go, oh no. And people are at their dogs over there where there's a tent. Oh, hi. Put the tent up. I could never, the rest of the time I had that tent, I could never get the smell out of that thing. I washed it, I resurfaced it, I scrubbed it, it had vinegar, it had ammonia, you name it, baking soda, it had forever. I finally we just couldn't, it would never, every time I thought I cleaned it and took it out, I went, nope, it's still there. Would never got rid of it at that point. So that's the one of the.
That was a good story. That was podcast appropriate. Yeah.
Be careful where you set your tent.
Yeah.
That's another good advice. Yeah, be careful where you set up your tent.
Actually, that's a good thing to remember in life.
Yeah.
Remember where you
pitch your tent.
pitch your
Yeah.
tent.
Yes.
Yeah, that's biblical.
Yeah.
Could be in the dog run.
All right, so we're getting close on time, and I want to hear some more stories, but we're running out of time. So when we speak of God's faithfulness, trying to wrap it back into a spiritual thing, we talk about God's faithfulness. The reason He's faithful is because the Word tells us that He cannot lie. And so we take those promises in His Word, this promise that He's begun a good work and He's going to complete it. We think through those things, and we have that promise that we can hold on to. We have the promise that Jesus said He's going to prepare a place for us. And so recognizing this is temporary, what we're experiencing now. And so all those things are encouraging. So as we go through difficult trials, which is what I hear you guys saying, is that even when you're going into the trials, what was it, Dennis, you said, when you got to put a roof on your house and you don't have money, or when there's your job or your back and all that stuff, you just recognize that He's faithful. And so this is what did you say before we started the podcast? There was something you said that you learned, something about this is not permanent, or this is temporary, or something?
Yeah, this won't last forever.
Yeah, and whatever is going through is not going to last forever.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if He's not faithful, how can you trust His Word? How can you trust that the work on the cross has taken care of your sin?
Mm-hmm.
How can you trust Him that you're going to be with Him? All those things concerning salvation and stuff. If there's not a faithfulness of His Word, of who He is, then how do you believe in it? How do you believe all that stuff?
Well, He's come through every time. Maybe not the way we thought, probably in a more miraculous way a lot of times, but He's come through every time in those situations.
How do you believe that He's compassionate? How do you believe that He loves you if He's not faithful? That faithfulness, I think, is just a solid, like I said, is a stable foundation that doesn't change. He's faithful, and that's not going to change at all. He's faithful to correct, and He's faithful to bless.
Amen.
He's faithful to the people that had idols, right? He was faithful to correct them and said, oh, by the way, you're eliminated. Right?
But He gave him plenty of chances to fix.
He said, this is what's going to happen. You can fix or not, or this is what's going to happen. He's faithful. Good and bad, He's faithful.
Yeah. How can you trust His law if He's not the perfect judge?
That's right.
Exactly.
Well said.
Wow, I wish I had
Thought of that one.
Hey, you just inspired.
You're going to
me.
make a good husband. I can tell you that.
Thank you.
You really
with
are.
my clown nose.
Yeah, no, you're going to be a good husband.
Yes.
Yeah.
What are you going to do
thanks,
if
guys.
on your wedding day you look out in the crowd and there's a handful of folks?
In the clown nose.
You know what?
and the-
When if I get an opportunity, you don't
If
have
I
to.
get an opportunity.
If I'm at your wedding, right, and I'm out there, and you look out there and you go, oh, there's Dennis and Pam. And what has Dennis got on his eyes and his nose? He's got a red nose sitting out there.
Leanne, don't look. Leanne, don't look. Hebrews 10:23 says, "Let us hold fast the confession of our hope without wavering, for He who promised is faithful." And so, what a treasure to have the Bricketts on the podcast tonight, a special guest. And again, the theme is the Lord's faithfulness, and it's been encouraging to hear the different stories, and I'm sure we could probably go for another couple hours of all the different stories. And so, if you're local, if you're here at Calvary Chapel, Palm Harbor, I'd encourage you to grab the Bricketts, take them to lunch or breakfast, or better yet, see if you can get invited to breakfast at the Bricketts. I've had that pleasure once or twice, and
The
it is
best
a phenomenal. It is amazing food. Everything I've had at your house has been good, and most likely when you're there after the food, there'll be a guitar that comes out, and there'll be some singing and
Time of worship.
a time of worship. And it's a sweet time of fellowship. So very grateful, excited. Not just you guys are here in the podcast, but the Lord brought you guys to Calvary Chapel, Palm Harbor. And
We
everyone
are
listening
so
to the
grateful
podcast.
we're here. It's the best.
Yeah, the first time with the time when we went out to the I know we're almost done here, but the baptisms on the beach, we looked at each other and went, wow, this is kind of nice.
We have died and gone to heaven.
Nice. We're at
Church on the beach.
You didn't get much of that in Dallas, I don't think.
No, we were baptized in a freezing cold jacuzzi that they didn't turn on.
Jacuzzis are supposed to be warm.
In October. No,
The
they
winter
didn't turn it
time,
on.
They didn't turn the heater on. It was like freezing and everything.
Yeah.
Quickly, go.
That's how you make sure the dunk is quick.
I couldn't even breathe.
And Dennis, you're volunteering to help out with some worship of the beach service too, aren't you going to do some worship for us coming up soon?
Right, the one in July. My friend from California or from Texas is coming out that leads worship in Tyler, Texas. He's going to be coming out and helping me, staying for a couple days for the week.
Very cool.
Amen.
You're going to like him.
Every friend you guys have met so far, I like.
I like him. Can't be that bad.
Colby, any closing thoughts or questions for the Bricketts before we wrap it up?
Not much, but I know we laughed a lot on this show, but there was a lot of really good truths. And again, the firm foundation of the Lord, through thick and thin, through ups and downs, through whatever you're going through, parenting. You know, I don't know if there's any teenagers that watch this, but if you're a teenager with hormones and stuff, or whatever, you know, he's stable, he's firm, he's true, and that's something you can rely on forever. So the Lord is faithful, and don't forget that.
Yeah.
Bricketts, any closing comments, anything?
I just thought of the song when he said that. The Lord is
good when trouble comes.
There is a place where we can run, and He knows all who trust in Him.
Yes, He knows
Yeah.
all who trust in Him. So rejoice and be glad because you know He knows. There you go.
Amen.
That's like the perfect way to end this podcast.
The Lord is
Okay,
faithful.
let's sing it again.
Hey, love you guys. Like, subscribe, share, comment. The algorithm takes it and it puts the podcast out for others to see it. So it's a way of evangelizing. So thank you, Bricketts. And with that,
Thank
we're going
you.
to sign off.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
See you guys.
Yada 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 bada bada booty gada lada bada bada booty bada bada booty 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 boo.